What's up, everyone? Hey, how are you? What's up, Aaron? What's up, Lori? Hey, Salem. How are you all today? And thanks for stopping in. And a big thank you to anyone that comes to hang out today and comes to spend some time here in the chat and on the live stream. Um, I was thinking about maybe pulling a few cards today. Also, too, instead of psychic readings, it's actually going to be more of a healing thing where I've been meaning to do some of that Luciferian Reiki for the past few streams, and it just hasn't worked out. I keep forgetting to do it. Or the Christmas stream would have went longer. It was already insanely long. Um, but something happened on the technical end of YouTube and it just froze up there at the end. So I had to end that stream. What's up, Jose Munez? Hey, man. So instead of doing psychic readings today, we'll be doing some of that. We'll be talking about whatever it is that you all would like to talk about, that kind of stuff. What's up, Mrs. Morticia, Brady Daigle, Nina? Hey, everybody. Hey, y'all. What's up? What's up? Good to see y'all again. Yeah, man, I had a good Christmas. And it's not over. I typically celebrate Christmas for like at least 10 to 12 days after Christmas and really try to keep it going as long as I can, at least staying in that type of holiday season mood as much as possible, which really it's so disheartening and so disappointed at like how all of the holidays now are just, no matter what I try to do, they're not what they used to be, and they're special in their own way. I mean, this Christmas here was extremely special for me, being able to spend as much time with my daughters as I did, and I'm going to be over the next few days and weeks too. But um, it just, like it's one of those things where really like, was it always like this? No. Like it used to feel like Halloween. It used to feel like Christmas. You could actually feel like a spirit that was alive in all of those holidays. Like even Thanksgiving is different. And it just really goes to show me that like we do indeed like jump timelines and things do change, and you can see it because it does really feel like it is like this for everyone, and a lot of people, they are really, I think they try to go overboard with the Christmas light thing because it's like all they can do to just try and grab that last little speck of Christmas spirit. It really is like that movie Elf. I was watching that the other night with my daughters, and you know how Santa's sleigh was powered by Christmas spirit back in the day. Now he needed some kind of propulsion unit attached to the sleigh in order to do his thing. And it really is a lot like that. Like I don't think, and it's really not that people don't have Christmas spirit. It's like something literally died, or that spirit literally departed from us, and it's not here anymore. Like I used to feel it. I know y'all used to feel it, like really feel it. Like, in Halloween too, like holy crap, man. That was like visceral. Like it was like thick. Like Halloween was like holy shit, and now it's just kind of like any other day. And I mean, I try my best to get into it, but it's just sad, and it does feel like it's like in so many ways it's fading away more and more too. I hate to see where these holidays are going to end up at some point, and like I know that you can make them magical, and you can make things magical, but it's just sad when that the spirit that used to like reside within all of that is no longer there, and you can, you know it's noticeable. It's like remarkably noticeable. And so speaking of timeline jumping, everyone does have 2 more days to sign up for the group ritual that is going to be on Saturday, the 28th. That's the King Paimon group rite. It's the rite of nuclear vision. And its intention is to assist us in stepping through into that proper timeline, that one that is going to help us to really embody that master that's inside of you. And that can look like all types of different things. And it can affect all areas of your life. Those types of timeline jumps are really crazy. They're difficult. Sometimes, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, and I was saying this before, and I've heard it a million times, but it just kind of applies, like what is your new life going to cost you? And it's going to cost you your old life, because you will in many ways be leaving that old life behind in order to carve out that new path and that intended path. The path that is like truly of your highest and your best good. And when we are like in active pursuit of like and dedicating ourselves to our passions and like really doing it, really showing up and really being present and really doing the damn thing, it really does change your life. And it doesn't matter what it is, if it's something that you really love to do, and that the more you do it, you excel at it, and you're working your way to like really becoming a master of that craft. And it's like really cool, man. It's like, it's impressive to see the things that people do and the things that they are able to do. It just blows me away. Some people are so damn talented. It is just, but like the thing of it is like we all are. All of us have very, very, very special gifts and unique gifts, qualities, and abilities. But the world has a way of keeping that a secret from you. It really doesn't show you the total truth of who and what you are. And so you have to peel back layers and go within and discover that. And in doing so, those latent talents and abilities will rise to the surface, and you can begin to nurture them and become better and better, at that thing or at several things. But even that type of positive manifestation and radical change still comes with a ton of pain in most cases. Like there's going to be some pain involved somewhere, and that sucks, but that's this world. And even in magic, that is typically going to be the case. Not always, but usually there's things involved like that, What's up, Gustavo? What's up, dude? Hey. Yeah, Mrs. Morticia, nobody's trick-or-treating anymore like they used to. The house that I live in here, I've been here for like 6 or almost 7 years. And it's like right on the corner. There's sidewalks out there. Not that people are usually always out there walking and stuff like all hours of the night. But I've never had a kid come here and trick or treat. It's crazy. We always get candy and we have it just in case, but no one ever comes. So yeah, it's sad. It's really sad. I used to really like putting up Christmas lights outside, and I would spend like 3 or 4 evenings doing it out in the freezing cold. And it was so cool to kind of like watch a masterpiece come together. And it was usually a pain in the ass because of like the whole extension cord deal and trying to like not overload circuits and stuff. You go through all that bullshit. But it's so beautiful when you're done with it. It sucks to have to take that shit down. Oh my God. I hate fucking taking down Christmas lights and like taking down the Christmas tree and all that. That shit's a pain in the ass. What's up, Jared? Hey, man. Yeah, timeline jumps are too fucked up in my opinion. They're crazy, dude. And like I think that it happens for us whether we intend on it to or not. Um, and it probably is a every 7 or 9 year cycle type of deal. And it could vary. It could vary for people. I'm not going to say that it's always going to be every 7 to 9 years. You might go 7 years and then do another one in 4. And I think that it is pretty evident that we do live in a world of free will, and we do have the ability to manifest our reality. And there are several different paths, several different timelines, and possibilities and probabilities that exist. It's crazy how important decisions become, like especially the older you get. Like decisions are some decisions are so damn important that they can literally make or break you in every way. I think that's one of the reasons why they push us so much and want everything now, 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 because if they keep us in that state of anxiety, if you will, and like high cortisol, then we're not going to really be able to stop and really think about anything. We're just going to be doing and reacting. And that sucks when you're living, if you're, and I've had several periods of like this in my life where I was living very reactionary. And when you're living reactionary like that, it's like so freaking like life just becomes miserable as you're like waiting for the next thing to happen and waiting for the next plate to fall, and like things are crumbling and it's like, oh shit, like life really can get scary really quickly. But I will say, when things do get really crazy, spending time like alone in isolation really is healing, and like just getting away from everything and all of your responsibilities and your normal environment and just go somewhere. You could even read some books, stuff like that, but I would leave the technology behind and just kind of catch your breath and have some peace. I want to do that here soon. I want to go to like a cabin or something and just start a big fire in the fireplace and meditate in there for a day. Maybe read some books and just things that I haven't done in a while. Do some little candle magic spells. That would be really cool. What's up, Ben Klima? Hey, what's up, my brother? Merry Christmas to you. Happy holidays. What's up, Light of Lucifer? The Twilight Zone is real. I know, right? Like that is really like the world that we're living in now, isn't it? It is like we're in the Twilight Zone. And oh man, and I made a short about this the other day. I saw this thing where they were talking about that show Black Mirror. And I don't know if any of you have seen Black Mirror. Mothra showed it to me, and I was like, "Holy crap! Like this is so crazy and so trippy. Like especially like the first 2 or 3 seasons. I think it got kind of weird after that, but they asked the creator when they would be able to expect future episodes of Black Mirror, and he said that he does not want he no longer wants to put any of those out because we are currently living in the dystopian societies that were the basis of all of the shows and the series, basically. And so he's like freaked out. He's freaked out. He's like, it's gotten too real. It's too insane. We've actually brought it into our reality. And that's the thing about it, isn't it? And like that's how Hollywood uses us. It harvests our energy, to like bring and manifest things from the astral plane, and it's probably like intensified by whatever they're doing at CERN. I'm sure CERN is harvesting some energy, and HARP probably is too. And now, like, they've got to be controlling the weather. They have to be controlling the weather. They have snow, like in Maui. They've got snow and tornadoes for the first time ever in, like, was it San Francisco or San Diego? I'm not sure. One of the two. And the fault line is starting to open up, or there's like big cracks forming in California and shit. I haven't confirmed that is legit yet, but I did see something on it that I thought was kind of interesting. I was like, holy crap. But then you've got that crazy hurricane that affected North Carolina, and that same town, Asheville, I believe it was, or if it wasn't Asheville, it was the other one. I think it was Asheville, maybe. They got hit with a big tornado that fucked up shit again, like last week. So it's just been like really strange weather patterns, and there's of course there's natural things occurring as we're getting back on the proper axis, because I think it's like we're kind of in like a wobble. That's kind of what this one guy was describing right now. And that probably affects the poles, and it's throwing everything off, and it throws us off too. I think it makes us highly emotional. And when you combine all of the other poisons in our environment and all the frequencies that they're piping out, it's just it's enough to make a person crazy, really. And like, the average person doesn't think about any of these things or even think that it's real and that it's all a conspiracy theory. And like now, with everything going on in our world, and you can look up and see all the crazy shit that's happening. And not only is it just happening in a few places, now it's happening really literally in all 50 states. Crazy shit. And it's not just one thing or the other, it's several different things. I think the people that thought conspiracy theories were bullshit are probably like taking a little bit of a step back right now. But then again, you do have people that have their head in the sand so freaking far that they'll still deny this and just act like it's not happening and carry on. And I guess maybe, hey, if that's the best thing to do for you, but I just have a really strong urge to always understand what's happening in this reality as best as I possibly can. But it is hard, though. It's hard to navigate the spiritual realm and the physical realm and be straddling both and kind of existing in both of them simultaneously. Because I think it's like before we have our awakening, or like our first major awakening, I think awakening is something that happens in stages, and it's not just like a one-time deal. But I think like your initial spiritual awakening seems to be the most profound. However, maybe your third or fourth one's going to be a major doozy too. It's hard to say, but once you have that awakening and you're like sharing space now with part of you being beyond the veil and part of you being here, like sometimes is just really interested in all these things, ghosts and demons and aliens and all that shit. But I hadn't really, tapped the energy yet and didn't really understand what's up. Hey, Aaron, thanks for the super chat, man. He said, JD, much love, brother. Can you ask Azazel if he came to me recently in a dream? What I'm getting is that it wasn't him, but it is a familiar that he assigned to you that is going to be communicating with you a lot more. It's like an aspect of Azazel, and even though he's omnipresent, a lot of times they're going to assign familiars to help you out. And in this case, that you have one. And that's what came to you in the dream. All right, Nina, Cool, dude. I'll see ya. Thanks for coming. What's up, Lori? And Tiny Giant Evie said, "Hail to you, JD, long time listener, first time caller." Awesome. Do you still remember your first jump? How long after CERN fired up did this happen? What were the first clues that you noticed? Love your work. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I would say my first major one was when I was in like a near crazy fatal car accident that would have killed a lot of people and probably me too. I had an out of body experience, and like when I went back into my body, uh, and like really like the cars went through. I saw the cars go through other vehicles, and my car was like literally like picked up and turned and placed like whoa. A whole bag just fell over here. Did y'all hear that? What the fuck? Hold on a second, y'all. Hello? Who's in here? Hmm. Okay. I guess we'll carry on. So I think that I jumped the timeline right as all of that happened. My life changed radically after that. Like I literally started to become a whole different person. My life changed in every way, and the things that existed were different just a little bit. Um, this was back in 2012 when this happened. And I believe I could have even had, it happened prior to that. Oh, shit. All right, hold on, y'all. I got to take this call for a second. It's a work thing. Hold on, okay? I'll be back. Thank you for calling CRS. Hey, good. Sorry, y'all. I had to do it. What's up, Symmetry? Hey, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, Aaron. Do what you got to do, man. I know, isn't that weird? Like, yeah, that whole bag just fell over. Like, it was a bag with like gifts in it, and it really, literally just fell over in the floor. I don't know how in the hell it did it. That was weird. Tiny Giant Evie said, "Thank you for sharing your experience with this, JD. Did you have a sense of being elsewhere during the accident?" Okay, so right when my car was going sideways at like probably 50 miles an hour at least, maybe more than that. And so I was like going sideways heading towards two cars that were like at a standstill getting ready to turn the turning lane. And right when I had the notion that like, holy shit, I am going to kill a bunch of innocent people, like, oh my gosh, like fuck, there's nothing I can do about it. Like right as the car started to go and like actually get into the collision, I was ejected from my body and I was watching everything from above. And I literally saw my car go through the other vehicle, and it just got like jerked like this and set straight and put right down in between the two cars that I should have hit. Like I saw it go through it, and I saw it go whoop and put back down. And as soon as it got put back down, I was back in my body. But as I was out of my body, I did see a big kind of like a iridescent blue, but very bright spinning wheel, like in the sky over next to me. So I have seen that. Like that was pretty freaking crazy. It's like that experience, like if that was a near death experience. I mean, I would assume that if the accident were actually to have happened, which maybe it did, most likely I timeline jumped in that moment, and in that old timeline, I'm pretty sure I died and probably killed a bunch of other people. I don't see how I wouldn't have. Um, but I've been in situations where I was dying slowly. um, Back, like, I guess this has probably been about 7 years ago now. We had this cat that we had adopted from the ASPCA, and it was like really, and we named it Church, and it was really fucking crazy and psycho. It chilled out, but it would like always just be like watching you and like stalking you and stuff. And she really wasn't like too loving and playful like a lot of cats are. I mean, she was okay sometimes, but it would be like sometimes it would be like she would just be like possessed. And I was at the place alone, like I was on the floor doing some artwork, and the cat just like became a wild animal and like attacked me, latched onto my hand into my arm, and I could not get it off. um I didn't care what I had to do. Like this thing was like became like I would imagine, like I would hate to ever tangle with a raccoon or something. Like this cat, like your house cat, is insanely vicious. Like it could tear you up, like for real. I had to open the door and I had to like fling it off of me, and it hit the hood of the truck, and it like ran away, at least for a while. But I was all fucked up. I mean, tore up. And right away, my hand started swelling, and it started oozing like green ass pus out of all of the freaking wounds everywhere. And I started just, I waited like a day and a half probably. And my hand just kept getting worse and worse, and my arm started swelling. And I literally had black streaks running up from my wrist, like up into my armpit. And so I was going septic and I didn't realize it. And I guess I had gotten like cat scratch fever type of shit, because the cat bit me and also clawed me. And if they get you good enough, like in most any case, you're going to get an infection that you're going to have to get antibiotics for, because they have so much bacteria, and especially in their claws, and their claws have striations on them, and it's like impacted in there. So I'm like sitting there alone in my office on the sofa, kind of going into like a trance. And I swear I felt like I was on like powerful opiates. Like my body started getting really warm, and I felt very peaceful. I did not give a damn about anything. Like almost felt like I was drunk, and just really drunk and really high, but really relaxed, man, really relaxed. And out of nowhere, manifesting right in front of me, I saw a swarm, and it basically like started to appear like little at first, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and it was a black swirling tornado of moths, of black moths, and it was probably like 6 feet tall. Like I was waiting for it to manifest into like a being or something, but it just sat there like whirling, and you could like hear it whirling too, but it was all moths, dude. um and then that stopped, and I kind of went out. I ended up getting a phone call from JS Garrett, and like told him what was up and sent him the pictures, and he was like, holy fucking shit, dude, you've got to go to the hospital like right now, you would die. And I was just like, oh dude, I don't give a damn. Like luckily one of my employees was coming back from a job, because I was living in the warehouse in my office at this time. And he came in and he like took me to the emergency room, like not at the hospital, like a detached one. And I got in there and I was like falling out and losing consciousness. And the dude in there told me, he was like, yeah, you're septic. And he's like, you probably had like less than 24 hours left if you wouldn't have come in here. And I lost consciousness in the emergency room, and they were already giving me IV. And I kind of came to, and I was getting put on an ambulance and they were taking me to the hospital. But I was in the hospital, I think, for like 5 days, like getting intravenous antibiotics. And I probably even could have like lost my arm or something potentially. And I think I almost died. But the moth thing appeared again in the hospital that same day, like at night. It happened again. And one thing that's crazy about that, with it being moths, is that when I had one really intense panic attack, like out of nowhere, that was so severe, like I really thought I was dying, and I couldn't talk, and my tongue, it's like felt like it was swollen in my mouth, like and I was like telling the doctors, I was like trying to tell them, like, I was like, please don't let me die. Like they were all like freaked the fuck out. I was at patient first. And so I had like every doctor up in that bitch, like looking over me, and they called the rescue squad. But when I like thought that I was really getting ready to die at that moment, there was like swarms of butterflies that were like just going through me, like, and it felt like it was real and like actually happening. And it was just like, basically it was like they were gonna like just take me with them, like they were just gonna like disintegrate me, and I was gonna be part of that and fly away, almost kind of like that movie Mama. That's scary. I think that movie's fucking scary. And it's about a place in Virginia, the Virginia mountains, and they are creepy. Like that area, Clifton Forge, that it's supposed to be taking place in, is really a creepy place. But at the end of that movie, you see that the dead witch ghost or whatever, she like swirls and turns into like a bunch of fucking moths or some shit. It's like, holy fuck, like, dude, I've seen that shit. Like that shit's real, dude. Like for real, it's real, man. Yeah. Huh. What's up, Christy? So sometimes cats act out because of being in pain. Yeah, I don't know what was going on with this freaking cat, dude. Like, like, I've never had a pet to like turn on me like that. And I never did. I never even sprayed a squirt bottle at that cat or anything. It was just freaking weird. It's probably a reason why it got dropped off at the SPCA, I guess, maybe. I don't know. What's up, dude? He said, I'm finally going to go give the staff that came to me so many years ago on the water as an oddly strong root resembling a lightning bolt on bottom and fire on top. Whoa. That'll be really cool. I'm going to go in to cover the whole thing in black beeswax, and I'm going to add symbols with gold leaf. Ooh, that'll look so cool. With red quartz on the top, with silver wire and brass tip for the bottom. Holy shit, that'll be a badass staff, dude. Hell yeah. I would love to see that once you get that done. It's going to be like a staff if Gandalf had the king's budget. That's cool. Wow, red quartz on the top, and the thing is going to be like just like such a symbol of power just looking at it. It's going to be like, holy crap. Wow. Yeah, I'd love to have a staff. EA had a pretty badass staff that he was using in our Lionsgate portal ritual that he did in Mothra, and Paul Zarafina. All four of us did it together back in August, and he had a badass staff. I think his has some kind of crystal up in the top of it. I'm not sure if it's just a regular quartz or what it is. But yeah, it was dope. I was like, holy shit. And he hooked me up with a flaming sword. I had never used a flaming sword before. And he had done something, I don't know what kind of fuel he was using, if it was like camping fuel or what, but he had done something to where I could stick it in the fire and that bitch was flaming, and I could just do all this kind of shit, fucking like calling in Lucifer, man. It was fucking awesome. I was like, damn. I was like, thanks, dude. That was a really fucking cool experience. I should have I didn't even see how he did it. I need to find out, because I definitely want to do that again. That was really cool to use a flaming sword in a ritual. That was dope. And it like burned like a torch, And what was crazy about it is that like prior, as we were planning the ritual, I was telling Mothra, I was like, I want to go online and see if they actually make like torches, like hand torches, you know, to where like you could just like a, you know, something that would almost look like an Olympic torch or any kind of thing, to where you could put some fuel in it, but it's already like torchy looking and cool and ornate kind of junk. And I was looking for him, and I couldn't find anything. And then lo and behold, he had the whole flaming sword set up, and I was like, holy shit, like it's even better. It's like exactly what I was going for and seeing. And it was like I never talked to him about it, you know, and it was just something that came to him intuitively, and he was like, yeah. And I was like, damn, like that's perfect, dude. That's so cool, you know, when you get in sync like that, you know, when you're creating rituals, you know, together with other people. That's really fun and really, really cool. You know, Mothra had written a really, really beautiful and powerful um, uh, incantation, you know, as part of the invocation, or when we were calling in the Lucifer and Lilith to kind of open the ritual. And everybody added their own unique special touch and intention, and you know, everybody had their own separate roles in what they were doing, and you know, everybody added their own unique artistic and magical direction everywhere on the altar, setting up the altar in a certain way, and all the candles and everything. You know, we all participated in it, and it just turned out like so beautifully. You know, and that's like really fun. It's not something that you get to experience, you know, every day. You know, that is so cool. That was so fun. Like really, like I really had such an amazing time. Like really and truly in those types of like powerful magical rituals like that, especially when they're outside around a fire, like especially, it really literally feels like you are stepping into a different dimension, and like literally the backdrop of your whole surroundings like disappear and fall away, and like literally you're in another place and time entirely, and like it's intense, and you can feel like the ancientness of it. Like especially the rite of deification, I will tell you, that's a crazy one right there. You know, and anytime I ever perform that for myself and for other people, man, it just gets swept away. Like whoa, and like literally so many spirits come in and like surround the ritual space. You know, man, um, it's wild. It's trippy. What's up, Braden Smith? He said, have you been to alternate realities on DMT? Yes. One of the craziest things, though, that started happening a lot for me. Me and Mothra were really going crazy with it for a minute. And when I mean going crazy with it, we were being reckless with it and probably doing it like 10 or 12 times a day or something for a while. And oh my, did reality get weird, son? Let me tell you. Holy shit. So I had one of them pins, and a lot of people don't like the pins, but I will tell you, those pins will send you into an ego death scenario, and you will think that you are dying, like for real. You will. Oh my gosh. So it was me and Martha and my boy Donnie, and we were over here, and we had been on a few journeys already and whatnot, and it was cool. And Donnie, we ordered a pizza, and Donnie went to go get the pizza. And I had been working with Belial a lot at the time, and I had just made this really cool Belial Metalink video. If you've never seen the Belial Metalink video, it's a pretty cool video, especially if you like take a hit of the DMT pin before you watch it. Like a lot of the videos that I made around that time, probably like 2 years ago and a year and a half ago, I made and put a lot of like psychedelic effects and different things in it. And if you watch it that way, it is like, holy crap. Behemoth X is another videos that is excellent to watch on psychedelics. It is like a backdoor into like really, really feeling and understanding his videos in a whole different way. It's fucking awesome. But anyway, we sent Donnie to go get the pizza, right? And I'm sitting there on the sofa, and I hit that pin, and I hit the fuck out of it like 3 times, and then like Oh man, I fucking was like, oh shit. And I like saw Belial looking like a pirate almost, in like big leather boots and like a big overcoat thing, like walking in through my freaking kitchen door. And I was like, oh my God, he is here to fucking take me. Like, holy shit, it's true. Like, I'm fucking am going, like, I'm actually did it this time. They chilled me out and shit, and that was like, oh my God, I really thought I was dying. Like, it was one of those things where it was like, God, I would tell you to fucking call 911, but I'm just gonna fucking die. I'm just gonna, if that's what's happening, I'm just gonna do it because I ain't dealing with that craziness, right? So I thought I was dying, but anyway, I chilled out. Donnie comes back, right? And I see him come in. But the crazy thing was, is that he had already come in just like 30 seconds before that. And he came up to me and he told me that they had fucked the pizza up. And so basically I lived through the same exact moment, one after the other, to the point to where as it was happening, I was calling out what they were getting ready to say. And I said, Donnie, don't fucking walk up to me and tell me this fucking pizza's bad, dude. They fucked the pizza up. And he's like, they did. They did. They fucked it up. Look. And I was like, no, you just told me that and showed me that, dude. I was like, don't. I was like, don't. And I got really upset with both of them. And I was like, fuck y'all. Y'all are fucking with me, dude. Like, all of this shit already just happened. Like, what are y'all doing? And they weren't doing it. But like, dude, like it. And this happened quite a few times, man. Like, this is crazy. I don't know if you've ever had this happen, but like you'll do like a huge hit and fucking lay back and then wake up and sit up and forget that you had just done DMT and you don't even realize that you are in a DMT trip, but you're with you, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, dude, that one really gets me when it's like it blows your mind so much that you forgot you just did it. And you wake up and sit up and it's like everything is so insane and you're like, what the fuck? Like, holy shit. Like, it was getting really weird. You know, it wasn't like your normal DMT trip with the crazy fractals or even going into, I've definitely been into like, I think what seem to be chaotic higher dimensional realms where it's like everything is, it's like it seems it's even different than just the astral plane. It's like way more realer and vivid and insane, and it feels like that it would be like really difficult to exist there because like it's like presses down on you and everything is so crazy, you're vibrating, and like it seems like the vibration is so high that it's like we wouldn't be able to tolerate it. Like, it's insanity. But for them, I think that they exist there. You know, it's one of those things. Yeah, when you do spend time in that space, you do begin to acclimate to it, to where you can function on it, to where you can open your eyes and walk around and be having like this. It's, you know, kind of like how shamans are able to do that. They're able to commune with the medicine and still be able to have their wits about them, you know, enough to carry out their purposes and stuff. And whereas you're just like totally blown away, and you know, one thing that really sucks. I've been wanting to make a video about this, I guess, for 6 months now, because El the Alchemist told me that Soul Quest in Florida had to close down, and that is really, really wild. That is a thing for me that feels like that it never actually existed and that I never went there and did it. You know, now that it's gone, it's like, whoa, like, how was I able to fucking have that experience while it was here and now it's gone? It just feels like it never was there. But man, ayahuasca is so terrifying. It is terrifying. But damn, is it healing? Like, I don't know if it healed any emotional trauma, really. Maybe a little bit, maybe for periods of time. But one thing it did do is it got me off of the hardest drug that I had the biggest issue with in my life, which was crystal meth. And that was my last ditch, last resort effort. And in one ayahuasca journey, I was freed from that shit. Like, absolutely. Like, and I was a daily user, a daily abuser of that nasty bullshit, you know. And that's something just like an alcohol, you know, like haven't been drinking. I haven't drank anything today or yesterday either. 2 days now, but I did on Christmas Eve. But you just really can't even mess around with it. And I guess that's the thing about that kind of stuff too. You can't really just casually use it. You're either all in or you're not doing it. And that shit will fuck you up. It'll fuck your whole fucking thing up. Oh, Braden Smith, you did ayahuasca there? Cool. How was your experience? I mean, I really loved the place, especially like back in 2019 when I first went. It changed a lot and it got a lot bigger and just had a different feel, especially when I went back in like 2022. By 2022, it had changed so much. Like the last time we went, it was something different about the brew, without a doubt. I don't know what they did, but someone did mention that I talked to the next day. But I had never witnessed more people flipping the fuck out and having just the hardest time I've ever seen. Basically, like 2/3 of all the people in the Maloka had to be taken out, and like some of them were like had to have 3 people on them and shit. And there were already people outside the Maloka that had started in some of the other smaller lodges, and they were brought outside. So there was people all over the ground. Like they didn't even have enough people really to handle the amount of people that were tripping out. And it was funky. It was funky. That brew was funky. It was weird. And everybody there at that time, they had changed so much. I went there quite a few times. I think I went there like 5 or 6 times. And the people there just seemed really tired and disconnected and not how they normally did. And then the brew, it showed like there was something weird happening there. And I'm just wondering if that, the spirit of ayahuasca had pulled her power and energy from that place long before she left it, possibly. What year did you do ayahuasca there, Braden? Oh, thank you, Mixed Baby DB. Your tongue, what happened to your tongue? I don't know if oh, okay, no problem. You can put in there what you want to, my friend. It's all good. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, the trick to black magic is to not be scared of legitimately scary stuff. Yeah, right. Mixed Baby DB said, "What's up, JD? I'm super new to this journey, and I know it's a life process. I've been doing a lot of shadow work, but really want to connect with Lucifer. Any advice?" Really just start focusing on him, start focusing on his sigil. I would, if you want to read some things about him, you can. But really and truly, I think the best thing to do is really like I did when I was first connecting with him. I made a lot of candles that I would carve his sigil into and like put glitter in and stuff and make them all beautiful and pretty. And anoint them with oil, do a lot of meditations with his sigil and just meditations on calling him closer to me. And he will show up and he will appear in your life and he will really become like, I would really say, for me, I would really put Lucifer as my version of the Holy Spirit. He really is like the Holy Spirit. He works in my life in that way. Like typically for me, that still small voice in my mind, which for Christians would be the Holy Spirit, is Lucifer, and it's always been him. And I know that now. And that's the thing about it too, that you'll probably find out as well, Mixed Baby DB, is that as you get to know him and know his energy, most people have the experience and realization that, wow, he's always been there. And so that's kind of usually the case. He reveals himself to you when the time is right. And just the fact that you're interested in him in that way, I would say that he was already and has been connecting to you for a long time. And now it's just time for you to take some mundane, practical steps to begin to connect with him and to begin, initiating yourself into witchcraft and sorcery. And he'll help you with that as well. He'll kind of point you in the right directions, and I found, like, especially early on in my journey, it was very much like that with a lot of spirits. There were some spirits that were just stepping stones to working with other ones. Some that I really wouldn't spend much time with, but they would point me in the direction of this other spirit, which then maybe I would have a 6-month path working with or something. And so in that way, in many cases, these demons are like stepping stones, from one to the other. And yeah, you can spend an eternity and learn so much from just one. You certainly can do that. Some of them do have better attributes for particular things, or more insight, contain more wisdom on certain topics, or possibly their energy is more effective in certain areas. And that's true. Certain demons do have their specialties, just like we do in our careers and in our crafts. There's certain things that we are better at and certain things that we're not so good at. And usually it's the things that we just don't care about doing, or the things that we're not good at. And that's probably goes the same for these demons. I would venture to guess that the things that they're not so good at, it's really not because they are not able to, it's because they just don't care about those things. That's not their function. So Braden said, I had a better experience when the concentrated brew was put on paper like acid. Whoa, really? Whoa. But it was ayahuasca, a lot more visuals. I could see the geometry of music and could see the magic and everything. Wow, that is so cool. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because this is something that I wanted to bring up. I had seen this video recently where this guy, I guess he lives in an apartment in New York City or somewhere, I don't know where, that doesn't really matter, but he was projecting these laser beam lights against the wall, I think like a red one and a green one, and maybe had them intersect or something. And he had people kind of go up to the edge of the wall and put their line of sight down across where those two grids intersected, and they could see it. And every single person saw the exact same thing. He had like 100 or 120 people come in there, and he recorded each one. You see them going up to it, you see them looking at it, and you see the glimmer in their eye when they realize that they have found that they're seeing it. And he's like, okay, well, explain to me what you're seeing. And he's like, it's like a code. He's like, it's like a code of like numbers and letters, gold letters. And it's like making like a web of intersecting grid, like in thin air. And they could see it. They were able to actually see like the fabric of reality, all of the 0100101 shit and all of that. Pretty wild, that everyone saw the exact same thing. It was pretty crazy that just with him refracting light in that way, these people able to see things that typically are only accessible when you commune with plant medicine teachers like ayahuasca and psilocybin and DMT. It's fun to imagine this from the spirit's perspective. Anybody smell burning blood? Wait a minute, it's that chanting. I better go see what he wants. Yeah. Like, they're probably sometimes like, oh, God damn it. This son of a bitch is burning fucking flesh again. Jeez, dude, I was going to go to bed early tonight. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. And so it's funny that you mentioned that, because like that's one of the reasons for kind of like, my ultimate method for rituals. Like, I'm going to go out and set up the ritual space tonight for the ritual on the 28th. Okay. And I'm going to begin to give offerings and charge and open King Paimon's sigil in the temple, letting him know he already knows the ritual's on the 28th. But I am already opening that space. I'm letting him get prepared on his end. I'm building up the energy in the ritual chamber and building up the anticipation. there's a lot of intent and a lot of energy. There's so many people that have signed up for this ritual, and I'm so grateful for that. We're going to really, really make a huge impact, bringing all of our energy together in this way. And I'll be giving a blood offering, um, a substantial one, to King Paimon on behalf of everyone. And there will be certainly libations for him as well, and a few other things. But I'm going to begin to give him offerings tonight. Then on Saturday, the 28th, I won't be eating anything all day, but I will have a delicious feast prepared for after the ritual is over. So fasting the day of the ritual really helps a lot. Going into that ritual very, very ungrounded, because when you're fasting, all of your energy goes up to the crown chakra. Your head's going to be in the clouds. You're going to be really kind of stepping through the beyond the veil there, being very ungrounded in that way. Perform the ritual, and then taking the energy of that ritual, and once you eat the food, you're grounding it down into the earth. You're taking your energy and putting it back down into your root chakra, which is helping to ground that magic into the earth. So that's just one of those things, it's like King Paimon's not going to get caught off guard with me calling him for something important, like on the fly. I've made it known to him that it's going to be on the 28th, but I'm going to go ahead and kind of set the mood, get some ambiance, light some candles, charge his sigil tonight. And I'll be doing the same thing tomorrow. And then on the 28th, it'll be happening. But I'm going to be building that anticipation for me, and the anticipation will be building for the spirit as well, and during those 3 days, you're really thinking about that spirit as much as possible, focusing on that spirit as much as possible, maybe even wearing colors or lighting candles that are the colors that spirit likes. All of those types of like pre-ritual activities, really helping you to begin to get connected to it. King Arthur was going to burn Geneva at the stake because she fell in love with Lancelot. Arthur then proceeded to kill both of them with his army. He is a good guy. Hey, I'd probably feel the same way that he would. I mean, wouldn't you? I would be really upset. I'd be pissed if I kind of feel like Lancelot and King Arthur were kind of like good friends in a way, right? I mean, that was kind of like his go-to guy, right-hand man. Maybe they really didn't like each other, but I think they both knew that they were necessary, and they should have had some like respect for each other, I guess. But I don't know, I don't know much about King Arthur or Lancelot, only that I knew he fell in love with her and whatever. But I would have been pissed. I mean, gosh, I would have felt very betrayed. I would have been pissed. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't think I would actually kill them, but man, I would be hurt and mad. And I guess he was probably like embarrassed because he's the king. So he's probably like, what the fuck? He probably kind of had to do it so that people wouldn't think that he was a pussy, and then like try to like take his whole kingdom from him because he's a wimp. But I know when it comes to matters of the heart, like, holy crap, there's nothing that can hurt you more, rip your heart out more, and make you angrier than the person that you're in love with. Unfortunately, that's how it goes, isn't it? Like, love is intense, and I guess there can be moments of thin lines there. But I guess if you didn't get mad, then you didn't really love them, I guess. If I guess indifference and apathy is the biggest thing to be afraid of, isn't it? Yeah, hail King Paimon. Hell yeah, Braden. Vlad the Impaler was delayed protecting his land. His love, stuck with grief, jumped off of a cliff, and when he wasn't busy fighting the enemy, he would search the river if they portray him as the bad guy. Wow. So he was in love. Yeah, being in love is a wonderful thing. You know, it's something that we all get to experience at different times in our life. You know, I guess the lucky ones are the ones that get to keep it and hold on to it for any amount of time. But yeah, whew, it's rough. That kind of stuff's rough. Braden said, I started the ritual early on the 17th, burned all of my white candles. Cool. Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry that I had to change the date on like that. But that's awesome that you're already connecting in that way. I've had his sigil out and I've already been focusing on it. I didn't set the actual ritual space up yet, but I'm going to be doing that. So hell yeah, Braden, you've been connecting for since the 17th or even before that, even more than usual. So that's great. That is perfect. But I'm sorry if you have to get more candles, my friend. I'm sorry if I caused you to have to do that. My bad. Mixed Baby DB said thoughts on draconian magic. I don't really have much experience with it, really. Oh, Aaron, what did you say, Aaron? Oh, JD, I feel bad for Justin Bieber, the whole thing that happened with him and Diddy. Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. It's freaking sad, isn't it? And you know, like it's crazy, like that whole kind of like conditioning thing and like or what do they call it? What do they call it? What they do to them? Whatever that term for their indoctrination is called, you know, basically kind of preparing them or whatever for when they get older so that they can, what do they call it? Grooming. Yeah, thank you, Light of Lucifer. Yes, grooming. When, you know, grooming, you know, back when I was younger, it was very common and normal almost for like a 16-year-old to be dating a 23 or 24 or 25-year-old and stuff. Like it really wasn't that big, it wasn't as big of a deal back then, you know, but today it's like, whoa, it's like that seems like such a huge gap right there between, you know, Justin Bieber was really young and P. Diddy was a lot older. You know, he was definitely taking advantage of the situation, it seems like, and grooming him into making him think that he was going to have to do all this crazy shit in order to become famous. And maybe so, you know, and if that's the case, then fuck that. You know, I definitely don't want to give my entire soul away for any type of fame and fortune. You know, no, like that. That's not the right way to go about it. And I don't want to do that. And I wouldn't do that. It's just really sad that people take advantage of young people like that, you know, that they don't have enough life experience to understand and realize what's going on. You know, and you do, you know, these people that are doing that are typically master manipulators and they know exactly what they need to do and say. And they're typically like 5 steps ahead of a younger person. I mean, you're outwitted and outgunned and outmanned in every kind of way when you're dealing with a person that doesn't have enough life experience. They're just out of their league. And of course, there's a lot of people that, I mean, I was a pretty intelligent person at 16. I grew up really quickly. You know, I had, you know, some street smarts and some pretty good intellect, but not every 16-year-old is like that. Yeah, say no to a Diddy party. Absolutely. Salem said, JD, when you fast, what is the length time in day or two? When I do it for like a ritual like that, and usually I do it for like big ones like this, you know, I will do it. And I'll just have my last meal usually like later the night before, possibly. And then so that whole next day, so from probably like 1 a.m. So from like 1 a.m. Friday night, I won't have any food again until after I perform the ritual, which will probably be between 1 and 3 a.m. most likely. So it'll be like it'll have been a 24-hour fast. You know, I will be drinking water and I probably will have coffee, but with like just black coffee. But I'm not going to be eating anything. If I do, if you like, and I always recommend to people, if, you know, if your stomach starts to hurt and you have a ton of acid in your stomach, you know, if you want to eat a teaspoon of peanut butter or, you know, something like that. Very, very, very light to just help you, but not break the fast entirely. I mean, I don't do it if you know, don't need to. And I mean, I don't, I can do it without a problem. Um, but I definitely, so typically it's like a 24-hour fast. You know, making sure I'm staying hydrated, and then I have something really special and really yummy planned to eat afterwards. And I do also leave a food offering like that out for the spirit. They get to share in the feast as well. And that's usually when I'm going to dismiss the spirit. Sometimes I do dismiss them at the end of the ritual, but sometimes I'll wait until after I've cooked dinner, and I'll actually still be like with King Paimon. I'm going to be doing some oracle card readings after the rite, so I'm not going to be dismissing him after the ritual is over, because I'll be doing some channeling with the oracle card readings. Then I'm going to have some food, and he is going to actually share in that meal with me. And when you're doing that, usually you're going to get some pretty cool information or downloads. Or you're going to have a pretty neat experience. I would definitely be paying attention to the lyrics of music and songs that pop on, especially Saturday and Sunday, if you're, you know, involved in this ritual, because I noticed with King Paimon, he does use a lot of music and will speak to you through music. Lucifer will do that too, you know, quite a bit, but King Paimon will definitely do that as well. And it'll be stuff typically maybe that you haven't heard before, but that has a message that is relevant for your life at this point in time. And usually it's going to be like something that's like theme based. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Ashton Kutcher was up in that junk too. That's what they're saying, but I mean, who knows? Why Unknown said, "Hey JD, question. I can't get anything with an open flame right now. Would a wax melter work for rituals? Been using battery candles with something more. Any advice? I just can't use fire right now." Yeah, I think that would probably be better. You know, or what I would do is probably both. I've used those electronic candles before in situations like that. We've had one on Santa Muerte's altar to have on while we're gone, not wanting to leave candles lit when we're out. That's what I would probably say to do. You know, yeah, I would use the electronic candles and some wax melters, you know, that with a scent that correlates with your ritual. And then two, maybe add in some using of some oils. You can anoint, you know, you can even add maybe some oil to something that melter thing, maybe to add, you know, some different attributes to the ritual. You know, and then you can anoint the sigils with that oil and stuff as well. You know, you can get creative like that, but I know it makes it tough when you can't do that, but you can certainly work around it. You know, the candle flame itself does put out a frequency and a vibration, and there's, I think, studies that have shown that the candle flame does emit a vibration and a frequency, and I think it does help to kind of, you know, help you to drop mind and get in a particular type of brainwave that is, you know, helps you to be more suitable for spiritual communication. But I mean, none of it's just certainly not necessary. One thing I would recommend too, you know, maybe anointing yourself, maybe your main chakra points with some oil prior to doing a ritual. You know, that can kind of help you to connect to everything too, and help to raise the vibration in lieu of the candle flame doing it. Brady Daigle said baking soda and a little water will help control the stomach acid during fasting. Oh, good idea. Hell yeah. I need to get some. I usually have baking soda, but it's like the baking soda that's like in the fridge to make it not stink. I think I definitely need to replace mine. And then I'll buy some extra to have. Oh yeah, Usher was abused by Diddy as well. Yeah, I think, yeah, Usher was like for real groomed. Like he was like live-in groomed. Yeah, he made him a star, but who knows what it cost him. Ugh, that's crazy. Grandiose U2 said ambient lighting LEDs or red light in general is a good alternative. And you can use baking soda instead of deodorant. It will make you feel fresh like it does the refrigerator. Huh. I never thought about that. I have brushed my teeth with baking soda. My grandmother used to make this baking soda water solution and put it in like a country crock container. And like you'd have to like mix it up when you would use it. And like me and my dad would brush our teeth with it, like back in like the 90s or early 90s. Diffuse essential oils. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, an oil diffuser would be better than the wax melts. There you go. Yeah, diffuse the essential oils. Aaron said Leonardo DiCaprio was Diddy's favorite party guest. Oh, yeah, that's right. And Nina said use essential oils only. David Kachucha said, what's up with racism in a lot of magic circles? Spirits don't discriminate. Any thoughts on this? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that it comes down to just, I know that like in some of the more like satanic groups, there's like some white supremacy shit going on in that a little bit. You know, I don't know why that would ever be the case. You know, like I think sometimes too, especially in magic, you know, some people do still use swastikas as a, you know, a very powerful talismanic energy. And if, you know, some people might see that and say, oh, you know, they're a Nazi or something. But, you know, I know what you're saying though. It does seem to be, you know, there is some of that that's going on with that. Yeah. Not anything that I'd ever be about or stand for at all. Yeah, exactly. Spirits don't discriminate. You can be any color. And I believe too that you can work with any of the spirits that you want to work with. And it's not like wrong for you. Like it's not wrong for us to do, you know, like Haitian voodoo. Because I do believe that there was a day and a time and a place and a timeline that you were an African American. You know, I was an Indian. I've been a man. I've been a woman. I've been probably every nationality you can imagine in all of my past incarnations. And so there's no real cultural appropriation happening in any of it because we've all been it all. It's in everything is in all of us. That's the way I feel about it. Yeah, racism sucks. Light of Lucifer said, what are your thoughts on the Order of Nine Angles? Now, I don't know a lot about the Order of Nine Angles. I won't, you know, I know they have some pretty strong leaning ideologies that are pretty extreme. I guess the one thing that I do know about them, and of course, too, this is only secondhand information. I was talking to a lady that had some experience with it back, this is probably 8 or 9 years ago. I was talking to this lady about it. And apparently one of their big things is like pushing yourself to extremes, i.e. like doing things that you would never fucking do. So like, you know, for me, it would be like, they'd be like, okay, JD, you're going to like get done in the butt by this dude over here because you have to like experience like extreme shit that would like basically destroy you. Like you got to do it, like something that you would never fucking do, like, you know, like ever. You got to do that. And then like maybe even like let your wife like, you know, have sexual relations with some other person so that she can experience like, you know, that same kind of like thing, doing something that she would never do, going to an extreme that she would never go to, like just for the sake of like shattering your psychic filter and pushing yourself to extremes. So basically almost like just like degrading yourself in order to like for spiritual growth. You know, I mean, I'm sure there's something to that craziness, but like, do you really need to take it that far? Do you really need to take it to that extreme? Like, do you really need to take a chance of like shattering your psyche and scarring yourself forever? Just for the sake of what, you know? He said, I prefer unnecessary and frivolous oils personally. JD, this is random. Drake said he got a voodoo curse in one of his songs. Oh, he might, man. I think a lot of them incorporate magic into their music. And there's a lot of magicians that do it too. Man, Mothra found this awesome artist. Her name is Curly, and she's like a Norwegian witch, and she is awesome. Her music is freaking awesome, especially her newer stuff. It is like so witchy. And Mothra was showing me like the documentary about her, about Curly, and she was talking about how like when she had like her own recording studio, and like literally like she made it like smoke in the forest like after she was doing one of her rituals that she combines into the recordings of all of her songs. So like all of her songs are spells, and she goes over all that and explains it all, and like it's so awesome, and that music is so cool. Like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's really awesome to use in rituals. We used some of her music in the Lionsgate portal ritual. It was so dope. And like, yeah, you should check that out. Her name is Curly. I don't know if it's up with a K or a C, but she's a lady artist. She's on YouTube and stuff. Nina said most popular musicians are working with spirits. Yeah, Beyonce gets possessed before going on stage. She said she could never do those moves on her own. Yeah, isn't it like she's like it's like a spirit named Roman or something like that? Yeah, that's weird, right? Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can see a lot of artists are certainly channeling entities. I mean, Maynard from freaking Tool is definitely channeling an entity. Um, a lot of those frontmen are channeling entities, and they're definitely like vessels for them. It's pretty wild. Oh, Nina said some people think black magic is racist. Hey, Mapia said, what's your thoughts on Babalao and necromancy? Um, as far as necromancy goes, I mean, I've done some necromancy. I've worked with some spirits of the dead, and have used things such as like bone fragments and different elements and rituals. I think it's something that you have to be careful not to spend too much time in that death energy, because I think that can certainly like affect your aura and just kind of affect your environment if you get into it too much. I don't know much about the other spiritual path that you're mentioning there, what that is exactly. I don't know much about that. But even like with Santa Muerte, I mean, she's a death energy, even though she definitely likes to be fed a lot of living, vital energy. That can at times get heavy, like that death energy that surrounds her at times can get heavy. And I think it depends on the type of person you are. It's going to affect you a little bit differently, kind of like anything does in life, I guess. Oh, I can't. So, dude, with the mask icon, I can't see how your name is spelled. Is it right, or something? But he said I also shy away from the decagram because I don't want people thinking I run media with less than 1,000 subs. So, if you have a channel or check your channel out, man, go and subscribe to dude's channel, man. Um, I don't know I don't know what is the name, because I don't know how to say it. So that's why I haven't been able to do it. Oh, it's Sasha Fierce. Oh, Lori said the name is Sasha Fierce. Okay. Yeah, they definitely love the energy they get doing concerts. I tell you, I love the energy going to sporting events. Like, well, I like to go to hockey games, and that is I really want to go to a hockey game this season. I want to go to a Washington Capitals game so bad. But man, the energy in those places, like, wow, if you're a vampire, it is so invigorating. I just love it. I love it. I want to go. Playing hockey was probably one of my favorite things I've ever done in my life, and one of the most the one thing in my life that brought me so much happiness and so much freedom. Um, I just loved it. I love playing hockey so fucking much. Oh, what David said, David Kucha said, would you not agree that death energy is necessary for any kind of rebirth? So to say, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It is. I mean, death is something to be embraced, really, because it is necessary for new beginnings. And everything has a season in this life. like in a time and a place. And sometimes death is to be embraced because that new beginning is so beautiful and wonderful and precious that, but like letting go of anything is so insanely difficult. I think that's the thing about this world. And I guess that's what keeps bringing us back here again and again, is the things that we hold on to that we just can't let go of in that moment. Ayahuasca definitely showed me that. Because I really do feel like when you have those really extreme, what they call an ego death experience, which really, when you're on the medicine, when you're journeying with the medicine, it feels like you're really dying, and you really think that you are actually dying, like in every way, that you're physically dying, and that's it, that you fucked up and it's over. And so that's terrifying. I think it gets you prepared for that moment of your death. And, some pretty crazy things happen. You go through some really intense emotions. And for me, the hardest one was, it was the first one that I ever had. And my body was literally on fire, and it hurt. It hurt bad as a bitch. I had basically an experience where I went to the lake of fire, met Abaddon, was set on fire, and was excruciating. And as that was happening, kind of like in a void in space, I saw the faces of my children, and I saw the faces of like my parents and my grandparents and everybody that I ever loved. And like I had to have like a face-to-face kind of confrontation with each one of them, and like literally like let them go. And as I did that, their image like literally just turned into dust that was swirling out into nothing. And like one by one by one by one by one, I had to let each and every one of them go. And by the time I let the final one go, I had turned into basically bones and then dust myself, which then in the final moment just said, and I got to see my whole existence as nothing but a little swirl of dust that was just kind of flying out into the ether somewhere, and it was like, wow, that was beautiful. That was a beautiful life. And like in that moment, you do kind of realize how it is all just a fucking dream. It's all just a dream. A bittersweet motherfucking dream. But yeah, letting go, man. Letting go. Letting go of people. That's the fucking worst one. That's the hardest thing you ever have to do in your life. It's fucking horrible. Ugh. And I've had to do that so many times, like in my younger years especially. And, when people start passing away and dying and everything, it's like, holy shit, man, like you just can't let them go. Tiny Giant Edie said, would you consider pure Christ consciousness a solar deific? I've heard a lot of people refer to Lucifer as solar deific. Yeah, I would say that, Christ feels solar, but I think at the same time, the Christ consciousness is meant to be a balanced one of male and divine feminine and divine masculine. So I would kind of feel that Christ consciousness would almost be a combination of moon energy and sun energy. And I would almost kind of look at Lucifer's like that too. I guess a lot of people call Lucifer's energy like the black sun, but I really kind of feel like, for me, at least, the gnosis that I got about Jesus or Yeshua back when I was kind of like in a psychotic state, if you will, from consuming 6 to 9 grams of psilocybin mushrooms for 2 or 3 months. It was coming through a lot to do with Mary Magdalene and a lot to do with the honoring of the divine feminine, and how much had been twisted and removed from what his overall message was. And, that part of our world being so upside down is that we do, most all the religions, except for the few in the East, only recognize male spiritual significance, and that everything is the father, the father, the father. And basically we are not representing the divine feminine or the goddess here in our spiritual lives below. She's represented above, but we're not recognizing her below. And I think that that was kind of like what Jesus and Mary Magdalene's union was showing us, that beautiful union of, masculine and feminine energy. And so a lot of that lunar energy that's needed has been removed, and it's just all very solar. It's all very aggressive. It's all very warlike. We're kind of in a realm down here where, dad's running the show and mom's not here. No one knows to even recognize her and get her to help you. And so dad is mad. Dad's pissed off. He's being a single father to all of us crazy children. And that's not supposed to be the way that it is. Hey, Taylor, what's up, dude? Hell yeah. I love EA so much, man. He's my motherfucker. David said, yeah, sometimes we need to decide if we own our possessions or if they own us. Yeah, that story reminds me of something familiar. Yeah, so true, man. And I guess that goes for our addictions and stuff too, right? The things that we're like shackled to and the things that are shackling us. We're shackled to it and it's shackling us and preventing us from moving in life in the way that we're destined to. And it does scare me too, that quite possibly those types of attachments, if I don't correct them before my time comes, that's what's going to be the thing to send me back. And I don't really want to come back again, not necessarily. I mean, I guess I could do it again. Time does move pretty damn quickly, and being a child's not so bad, but some of this stuff is really difficult and really rough. I think I'd like to move on to other realms. I wouldn't mind actually being a spirit guide or like, something like that, or a high-ranking powerful demon that people summon and conjure to like help them with their earthly affairs. So that way I can just kind of like do my thing, but not be here to have to feel the physicality of this world's pain. I mean, I do think that they feel, they're familiar with and they understand our pain. I know that they understand it. I know that in many ways they're like so above the pettiness of any of it. But when it comes to pain, pain's pain. And it's not all petty. So I think that they would be forced to recognize some of it, or at least understand our plight and what we're going through. I mean, I do feel at times some of these spirits do feel pretty bad for us. A lot of times they look at us sometimes as pathetic. Yes, not really, but at times, especially if we're being really dumb. But at the same time, they get it too. But really and truly, all of us are just so fucked with our self-limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are just, they're so fucking powerful. And that's the thing about these spirits. I think that they really try to show you, they really do want you to claim your own personal power and to go out on a limb and to do great things. And when you're doing those great things, and you're winning, they're winning with you and they're celebrating with you and they're having these amazing experiences of success with you. And, that success comes in all different shapes and forms, from relationships to money and things and assets to good health. Opening the doors to new and great opportunities, helping you to like self-actualize, which that's a really tough one. It's a tough one, man. Taking a look at yourself is a tough one, and seeing where you're wrong and where you went wrong and some of the things that you need to do. And like when it really comes down to it, you really have to like change your way of thinking about certain things. Like that is really freaking hard. Sometimes it really is hard to change your mind. Taylor Gang said, is there any entity actually attached to me? Can you ask one of the devils, please? What do you mean by that? Are you feeling like there's something malevolent attached to you? I know that you have some familiars, but are you having some kind of, what's happening that makes you feel like you got something attached to you? Oh, the Paulo Mayombe practice. I don't know any stories there. I do know I had a friend that got into that practice after having a consultation with me. I don't know anything about that, but that was something they were interested in. And I think we had a reading and it was kind of pointing her in that direction. And she's really grown a lot and really changed her life through that practice. So it seems to be a pretty positive thing. I don't know much about it, but it's been a really positive thing in her life. Kind of an unorthodox path, I guess. It's a little obscure, but I'm sure very, very powerful and somewhat ancient. Why Unknown said, I've been thinking about using live plants in my next altar. Which house plants have the most ties to entities? That's a good question. I like to use Christmas cactuses. I have those on a lot of altars. You could even put a money tree there. Um, I think it just really depends on probably whatever types of incense they would correlate with. They would probably correlate with plants of that nature. But that's a good question. Like the Santa Muerte likes red roses and like, I don't know if they're red lilies. Um, you can always certainly ask them what they like, but I don't know. I don't know that I've ever heard, that I can remember at least any ways, of anyone saying like particular plants that certain spirits like more than others. That's a good question though. But I think putting a live plant on your altar is a freaking awesome freaking idea. The more nature that you can bring in and place in your altar, and have a more natural environment right there, and get that space vibrating in a natural way like that. Have some crystals, have some organite, maybe have some protective stones on there too. Having some quartz, having some tourmaline, kind of on the outside of the circle of the crystal grid, and then whatever your main thing in the middle, whether that's carnelian, whatever it is that you're using. The mystic said you can tell by the words they are singing. Kronos, yes. And some familiars are one. All right, let's see, Taylor. You could quite possibly have a little bit of an energy that's attached to your aura. If you've been feeling, I would say if you've been feeling like paranoid, where you don't normally feel paranoid, uneasy, and anxious, sometimes that can be a sign. If you've smelled any weird odors that can kind of come out of nowhere, or heard any bumps in the corners of rooms and different things moving, 2-liter bottles popping, not like exploding, but just making lots of noise for no reason, like in the other room. That can be a sign too. Feeling pressure shifts in the room out of nowhere, but usually it's just going to kind of affect your emotions. Sometimes it can affect your sleep. It can affect a lot of different things, but typically it's just going to be a feeling. Sometimes things won't be quite working out right in those moments too, because they will tend to get you off of your routine and get you out of sync, get you out of your normal life sync. Hell yeah, Symmetry 2025, good vibes. Yes, we've got to stay positive. We got to stay positive, and we've really got to we've got to clean our lives up from the inside out in order to begin to get the earth straight enough for us to really step into that great timeline that we want to step into. It feels like the earth is shifting and we're shifting, and the earth is purging and we need to purge. And this purging, we've been doing this for like the last 3 years, 4 years, a lot of us, preparing for what most likely, whatever it is that we're going into now. And I've teeter-tottered, I've gone back and forth. I have really cleaned my life up a lot and had done a lot of cleansing and a lot of purging, a lot of healing, but then, different issues then still began to rise to the surface, and I wasn't done yet, you know. Still a lot of shadow work to do, a ton. But, you know, identifying the things that you know are issues, you know, especially if they're addictions or just bad habits or things that are just negative in your life, you know, beginning to do that is going to, you know, make a huge difference. And typically when we start doing that, you'll see that somehow, some kind of way, the earth begins to kind of do that same thing, and it's going through that same process. It's going through the same process that we're going through. You know, it's a reflection of us, and we are a reflection of it. Yeah, that's right. It's a number 9 year, Light of Lucifer. Yep, the completion of cycles. And number 9 has always been the nine too, the number that Lilith showed me is basically the number that signifies the you know, the divine feminine and the goddess, and that, you know, 666 equals 18, and 1 plus 8 is 9. And to me, that is one of the things about the left hand path, is that we do represent the goddess energy in this path very heavily, and that's kind of like one of our powerful secrets here. It's one of our powerful secrets that we have here on the left-hand path, and it's kind of hidden in that number. Yeah, but number 9, a very feminine number of the goddess. Yep, and the number of completion. Taylor said, but is there more than one entity attached to me through other than my familiar? I don't think there's more than one. It could take on different aspects and appear to be more than one. You know, typically you're not going to have like a whole gang of crazy entities attached to you. I mean, you could if you were hanging out in some really weird places and like creating chords with really unsavory, nasty people or something, then you're probably okay. I mean, if you were like raw dogging a prostitute recently, then I would say there's a good chance that you could have all kinds of things going on. But I'm just kind of feeling that you've just got, it's just like what I'm feeling on you more than an entity is that quite possibly someone just kind of put some evil eye energy on you. And that's just kind of making you feel a little unhinged and maybe even making you act a little weird. But that, you know, that evil eye energy can really like come through as a tornado in your life and really like fuck some shit up for a minute. Braden said, have you ever had experience with unicorn spirits? No, I really, well, that's weird that you say that too. So I had a unicorn, and then I had a Pegasus, and it was a Pegasus that had a unicorn on its head as well. So it was a flying unicorn. I guess a Pegasus is not a flying unicorn, is it? It's a flying unicorn, right? So a flying unicorn inside of a clear cube kept showing up in a lot of these Reiki sessions that I used to get with this really, really awesome healer. Solomon Palosanto, he lives in Richmond too, and he's a medium as well. He's an awesome medium and reader. And I used to get a lot of readings from him, but I used to go to his house and he had, you know, a whole Reiki room set up, and I would get like in-person Reiki sessions that like, that was the reason why I got into Reiki, was because I had such amazing healing experiences from having it done for me that I was like, holy shit, like I am going to get into this. This is so awesome and amazing. But it happens for me as well. When I'm doing healing for other people, I typically will get downloads and messages. I'll see different things that are messages that I'm to pass along to the person that I'm working with there. And for me, that unicorn and that flying unicorn kept coming up in like a cube, just like this. That's strange, but it was in that cube, and it would just keep showing up and keep showing up and keep showing up. And sometimes this unicorn would be showing up with Prometheus, but you know, I never totally understood the meaning of it. But I think that it's a signification that I do have like maybe like a unicorn, flying unicorn, familiar spirit that's attached to me that is looking out for me and everything. I just don't know their name, and I don't really know, or I'm not conscious of communicating with them. So yeah, I don't really know anything, but that was my experience with it. So Why Unknown said, have both plants. I'm kind of a plant nerd. Oh, but I feel something asking for plants when I look at my plant collection, but I don't know who. Any ideas? Well, I'm not sure exactly who you work with. I would say if you do work with any type of death energy, a lot of them really like living plants a lot. Um, that's really the biggest one that I've ever had living plants or had been asked for living plants, and not just like, I put floral arrangements, roses and different arrangements on all of the spirits altars that I work with. I'll be getting a big bouquet of flowers for the King Paimon ritual and some chocolates and some wine. But yeah, I don't really know who that would be. Possibly if you ever work with Pan would definitely like living plants and things of that nature. Um, and definitely like phallus shaped obelisks, crystals, and stuff. David Croy Kucha said, unpopular opinion, Astarte is at times at war with Lilith. Any thoughts? Oh, very good. It's quite possible. They definitely have a different energy. And they're definitely kind of like a polar opposite of each other in ways. So I wouldn't doubt it. I could definitely, as you say that, I could definitely be like, I could see Astarte telling Lilith to stop being such a whore, and Lilith telling Astarte to stop being such a prude. Not that Astarte is a prude, but she's just more of a elegant woman, and Lilith is more of a wild child, Meg Myers type. Well, no, I wouldn't say that, but ish. Aaron said, JD, does Azazel have any other messages for me? Just to stay out of your head. Don't ruminate on things. Focus on positive things and try to stay busy, and don't allow yourself to get caught up in your own mind and ruminate on like problems and shit. Basically just give all that to him and like ask him to handle it for you so that you don't have to continue to carry it around. Taylor said, tell me about the Thenophore, please and thanks. That Thenophore familiar, Thenophore should be helping you a great deal with that, with imbuing your aura to make you come across, in a more positive way, and nearly even to make you appear beautiful. And so if that is the evil eye, if somebody is kind of hating on you, that's probably where that energy is coming from. It's also a very magical teacher. So you will be having experiences with that familiar where you'll be put in situations to find a remedy magically. So with it being a teacher like that, and with you being on this path, you've got someone by your side to help you, and you've got someone by your side to help you to get inspiration and downloads. So really just ask for what you need, and not just be going with the flow and being in your own head. Like, communicate with the spirit and tell the spirit what you need. Give us some offerings, light some candles for it, really connect with Thenophore. And then once you're doing that, like, come to them, ask them for some help, tell them what you need, what needs to happen. And then you can also, when you're doing that, just sit down with a notebook and see if they got anything to say to you and write that down. And don't be afraid to write down whatever comes into mind. Like, literally write it all down, every little bit of it. And just open yourself, relax, and just put the pen to the paper and let it talk to you. Aaron said, and JD, can you also ask, please, if the little girl spirit in my house needs any help? I always tell her she is safe here. Oh yeah, that little girl spirit you were asking about before. Yeah, I think because there's like a little girl spirit, and then I think there's a guy spirit there too. And I think that everything is safe and everything is okay there. but like, yeah, there's more than one energy there. I think I think it's her and a guy, but I think everything is cool. Yeah, I don't feel anything weird about it. Mind Pop said, "Yo, JD in chat, got my Azazel talisman. Thought it was going to have blood on it from the blessings you did. I did a ritual and I received to activate it. Yeah, they were all drizzled with blood. There should have been at least a little spot on there if it didn't come off, but they were all anointed. I think I have two of them left, either one or two left, but it was from that ritual. So yeah, dude, I'm glad that you got it. Hell yeah. I know those take a while to get through all the freaking customs and everything, but it's a beautiful piece, dude. And like, that's awesome that you did a ritual to activate it and to, you know, so that you can begin to like attune yourself to the energy of it. You know, and to like those, you know, you can, I think there's a cloth in there that you can use to clean it with too, but, you know, it shouldn't tarnish, but it is silver, so it might. Miss Diamond the Void said, felt the rush of energy after I typed my question, maybe just my own suspense. Oh, what did you ask? Let me see. Oh, no pressure to answer, but can you see, are my spirits mad at me? I'm trying to go above and beyond, but life hurdles delayed major rituals. Have you been making a lot of offerings? Oh, you have been making a lot of offerings. Yeah, I don't think that your spirits are upset with you. I just feel like that there's a pressure being created in your life right now, so that certain things will take place and happen, I guess. And that seems to be delaying. And I'm thinking that, you know, they're feeling what you're feeling right now in the situation, and it's kind of like y'all are both vibrating in that energy because it's kind of tense and it's kind of like, oh shit, like, you know, I got to do this thing, but it's hard to do or whatever it is. But they're, you know, they're not upset with you, but I think that there's like some frustration. They're frustrated, but they're frustrated for you, but they're also frustrated at the whole thing altogether. You know what I mean? It's kind of one of those things where they're just kind of like dwelling in hell with you right now. And so it's kind of like, you know, they're feeling the pinch like you are. 9 is the number of Oz. It's going to be in my standard normal size B jars. Ah, cool. Hell yeah. Why Unknown said, mostly work with Lucifer, Lilith, Azazel, Asmodeus, and King Paimon. I rarely try other entities unless I feel a pull to it. Yeah, that's kind of how I've always been too. You know, I mean, I've definitely branched out and worked with other entities here and there. Those you mentioned really are kind of, and with Belial added to that, are the ones that I've worked with the very, very most. You know, I have worked with Lucifuge Rofocale also. But yeah, I mean, that's a really good assortment or array of spirits there. And, you know, I always recommend really to everyone, you know, to at least have some type of, you know, have the divine masculine and the divine feminine represented in your spirituality. You know, a lot of guys very rarely will ever work with a female spirit. And I get it, you know, a lot of them overlook Astarte and, you know, overlook some of the other goddesses, and they focus on just, they think Lilith or Nama might be like, you know, one of their only spirits that they could work with, really. I mean, you got Hecate too, but you know, she can be somewhat harsh as well. So I think a lot of guys are probably just a little afraid to work with Lilith, but it does bring a balance into your life, and into your magic. And you know, I do think that, you know, that the representation, the spirit of Baphomet, you know, represented divine masculine and divine feminine in that balanced way, you know, in correlation with the spirit. It's, it's powerful. So I think it's good that, you have that balance and that you have both represented there. Happy holiday, Jason. Michael said, happy holidays, JD. Is there any more information on the Pope's ritual, and where did you find out about this? I found out about it on the internet. There's different people that have reported on it. I have not found out any more information about it. I want to watch it. I want to watch it tonight. I'm probably going to actually go when I'm going to get some dinner as soon as this is over, and I'm going to actually watch it. I was going to watch it last night, so I want to watch it and see what's going on. And I want to see a follow-up report on what it's actually really all about. It's hard to find some really good, accurate information, but I really want to see what this is all about. I have my own theories on what it is. I'm really not sure. But it's quite possibly that he's opened portals to open the closed circuit of Earth for the first time in thousands and thousands of years, which means that, spirits are able to finally leave. If Earth is a closed circuit, it's quite possible that it was like a one-way street and spirits might be able to come and go. But, I think higher dimensional beings can come and go, but we're not able to leave this dimension through the closed circuit. So maybe these portals, I would think most portals are openings into other dimensions. So they're probably opening portals into higher dimensions. And so, maybe that has something to do with bringing in, the 5D consciousness here. Maybe maybe it's a ritual to open a door through the veil so that we're going to basically kind of collide with dimensions, or this dimension is going to seat over this one. And we are just automatically going to all be raised into a higher fifth dimensional consciousness dimension or something. That would be really, really cool. It'd be pretty wild. And I think it would make sense that there would be chaos and calamity that would come with that, or at least some kind of melee that would be involved. I guess we'll see if the shift happens peacefully or if it's going to be like a great upheaval. You keep getting ads in the live? Oh, really? Oh, weird. I don't know why they do that. Aaron said, would Lilith want to work with me too? Yeah, I think so, but I think that it would be something to embark on once you're out on your own. I don't know if I would work with her just yet. So I keep having so many freaking magic moments. Yeah, dude, I tell you, me too. And it's, the synchronicities have just been insane lately, man. Like, wow. Like, the universe is really speaking to all of us right now. I mean, for sure. Jose said, yo, JD, can you give me a message from my ancestors? I can try to. They would definitely like to see you carry on your family lineage. So hopefully that's something that you have considered, or something that you want to do down the road. But that's definitely something that they're certainly pushing for and hoping that you're going to consider. Oh, I know you're respectful with every spirit you work with, Aaron. I just don't know if you want her in there yet. Yeah, exactly. Miss Labyrinth always said she can be a bit heavy, just a warning, but not in a hostile way. Yeah, she can definitely be heavy. I mean, she's gonna. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, Miss Labyrinth and Boy, for the super chat. Thank you so much. But yeah, man, she can be a lot. She can be a lot, and not that it's not ultimately positive. It can just be a rough road to endure. It's necessary. It's I'm just getting the feeling just not to do that quite yet. Mrs. Morticia said, can you do a reading for me? Will that man go to prison for what he did to me, or is he unalive? I think he's still alive. I don't have the feeling that he's dead or crossed over. I think that he might still be around, and it feels like that he's worried about it, but I don't know if anything will happen with that. I say there's some certain things that would need to happen in order for that to happen. And it's not to say that that won't take place, but as of right now, it just kind of feels like it's kind of like very uncertain. I definitely feel anxiety and all of that, and I'm feeling very heavy anxiety. So I don't think that I think he's still alive. I think. I'm sorry if bad things happen. That sucks. Tiny Giant Evie, I'm sorry if bad things to you. It's fucking terrible. Yeah, I had bad things happen to me, man, when I was younger, and that shit sucked, and it fucking fucked me up. So I'm sorry to any of you that has ever had anything like that happen. And oddly enough, there is kind of a weird statistic out there with especially people on the left-hand path and people that practice black magic and with witchcraft. Like most of them did experience some type of abuse as a child, whether it was physical, mental, or emotional, or sexual, or all. Um, it's really strange, uh, that that's the case. And it does seem, to be something to it, like going through those types of experiences have an effect on you, I think, psychically, and it might possibly open you up even more. It's kind of like what we were talking about earlier with the Order of Nine Angles and doing extreme things to have a breakthrough or to, whatever. It kind of seems like those kinds of incidents, they do that to us as well. It has an effect on us. And it was almost maybe, I don't even want to get into it, but I know it sucks. Those experiences suck. And, we don't want them. They're not pleasant. But it just seems to be a correlation, with all of us magicians here, that kind of stuff. It happens. It sucks. Yeah, there you go. Tell Lilith on him. Exactly. Yeah, and he'll tell Hecate. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Yeah. And so if you've already done that, that's probably the anxiety that I'm feeling. Because that's the thing, if you do have a spirit and you assign a spirit to a person, especially if they're not protected in any type of way, that energy that you're going to send to them, I mean, it's going to really torment them. They're going to be tormented like from the inside, and really feel like that their life is falling apart, and they're going to then be prompted to take part in their own destruction and in their own demise by their own hand and their own actions. But it all starts inside, in the mind and in the emotions, and it's real and it's scary. That shit's scary, man. You start feeling unhinged like that, definitely do a reversal, definitely do some cleansing, definitely protect yourself. Do what you got to do there, because I've been through it. I've been cursed many times, and it can really get to be terrifying and scary. And you really can feel like that you're entering into this insane hell realm. And once you are able to step out of that energy and remove that energy from you, seal those holes in your aura and reinforce everything and protect yourself, cord cutting and everything else that you need to do, you'll feel that weight lift and your thoughts will become clearer. It's crazy, dude. Like, so many people think it's bullshit, right? Like, yeah, that shit's bullshit. Like, no, it's not. No, it's not. It is not bullshit at all. It is it's real, man. No. David Katucha said, Lilith has delivered what I thought was my dream woman, who ended up being the biggest heartbreak time and time again. They all love my wallet, the same lesson over and over again. Damn it, dude. Damn it. Well, make sure that you don't lead with it, because I bet you were leading with it. And Lilith was trying to show you not to lead with it. And until you learn not to lead with it, she was kept sending you the same thing, right? And probably every time it was a little bit worse too. They were a little bit crazier and a little bit more intense and just a little bit extra. Damn, I'm sorry you went through that, man. I know sometimes we really have to learn the hard way. It fucking sucks and it hurts. Life is a wow, you just gave time and let it play its course. Yeah, exactly. Yep. She'll get it. She'll get it done. Yeah, I think Mrs. Morticia said, thank you all. I know he will pay. I've given out his name to many witches that want curse practice. Good. Yeah, I was gonna say that's perfect too. Yeah, yeah, I mean, that's the perfect situation. That's the perfect situation. And I believe that it's definitely warranted and deserved. And that's the thing too, especially if you are absolutely 100% legitimately in the right, which you are in this situation, then that spirit is certainly going to deliver for you. A lot of spirits won't do it just if you're mad about petty things or you're really being a baby about dumb shit. But when it's legit and it's serious like that, and you're in your right in every way to really just be defending yourself, like and matching that energy, then yeah, fuck them. He said, yeah, for sure. A little bit hotter each time, too. Oh, really? Damn, man. Ugh, that sucks. God, that hurts, doesn't it? God, man, I'm sorry, dude. But it seems like you're okay with it now. So I'm glad. I'm glad. This shit sucks. Mind Pop said, how do you differentiate between your own internal monologue and spirit communication? Mm, for me, hmm. That's a good question. That's a hard one for me to answer because it's been something that I've been doing. I've really just since I can remember, I mean, not my whole life. I mean, I was interested, like I said earlier, when I was younger in these things, but I wasn't like practicing witchcraft and all of that. But, once I was aware of like Lucifer being in my life, I mean, really, it's like I know that I have my own internal dialogue. Okay. But I work with spirits so often that internal dialogue is really coming from them or is highly influenced by them. It's kind of like they became a single unit. And that might make me sound like an insane person, but yeah, it's kind of how it is. But that's a really good question. I don't have a good answer for that though. Hey, Bella, welcome to the coven. Awesome, dude. Welcome to the members junk. It's awesome to see you too, Bella. Jose said, what is my family lineage exactly? Is it a specific type of witchcraft that runs in my family? I was feeling some kind of like, not really like a shamanistic thing, but it was definitely like very earthy and it's like some type of older practice. Um, it definitely seems to be witchcraft and some type of sorcery. They were definitely working with spirits of some sort, conjuring spirits. Um, but it definitely seemed to be some kind of more of a like local or regional type of practice, like a more of a kind of a, I don't want to call it folk magic because it's not really folk magic, but it's kind of just like, I guess you would kind of call it folk magic. Like it was a very eclectic practice that seemed to be a combination of some things. Aaron said, JD, I was bullied a lot most of my life. I am better now thanks to Azazel, Bilal, Marvas. Hell yeah, dude. And you're grateful. That's awesome. Yeah, being bullied sucks, man. I experienced a little bit of that when I was like 12 or so at school, just by these pair of guys. And I did have this other dude talk shit to me for like wearing the same clothes a lot, but I couldn't help that, man. It wasn't my fucking fault. But Light of Lucifer said, I'm new to the occult and there's so much that I don't know. I'm only 5 months into my journey. Awesome, dude. Awesome. Well, let me tell you, you're going to learn a lot in the next 6 to 18 months, like especially like you're really going to learn a lot. Everything's going to start to open up for you and make sense. You're going to see the synchronicities. You're going to be led to the right people, places, and things, and right information. A lot of your journey, will be involved being led to the right things online, which will lead you to the information and people. You'll be led to the different books and the different things that you need to do, and like just really allow him to guide you, and the more you do that, the more everything will open up. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Nina's got 250 books to learn from right there on that collection. Hell yeah, that's awesome, Nina. Cool, dude. Hell yeah, 444. Hell yeah, Light of Lucifer. What's up, the Cosmic Alchemist? He said, hey, JD, sorry I'm late. What'd I miss? Nothing. We just been chilling, talking about shit, Yeah. What's up, EA? He said, hey, JD, hey, Nina, hey, everybody. I'm listening while driving, but glad to be here. 2025 is going to be nuts. Yeah, I agree. I'm just really trying to focus right now on just getting my life in order, getting my finances straight, getting them straight so that I can finally be in a place that I want to be in a home that I want to be in a home that I own again. I still own a home, but my ex-wife and my daughters live there. And, so I want to buy another property, and, I really want to move. I would love to be able to live in Utah. I really love it out there. I feel a lot better at that higher elevation, and it's really just such a beautiful spiritual place. I really do want to end up there. So I really want to, squirrel away as much money as I can, downsize my life as much as possible and get rid of things. And, when my ex-wife sells her house, the house we have now, hopefully I'll walk away with like 150 grand there. And then if I can save some money, that'll give me some money to put a down payment on somewhere that I really want to be, and some place that I can really like pour my heart and my soul into, because I missed that, for 20 years. I've owned that other house with my ex-wife for 21 years. And for like the first 15 years of owning it, I put my heart and my soul into that place. I mean, I worked and did everything in there. It's so beautiful. It's so cool. And it was exactly the way I wanted it. And like, I had to give it up, and it sucks. I got to spend there Christmas Eve there, and it was so cool to be there again. And, I love it. And I just, I need my own place again like that. I need a real sanctuary. I need that comfort. I need that peace. What's up? Roses are red, or roses are red. Yes. Hell yeah. Dark books. My first library when I began my journey. Mom Pop said, yo, EA, a problem with Odyssey yesterday. I couldn't connect properly. Lori said, hey, EA. And Bella said, one moment at a time, man. Peace. Brady Daigle said, Light of Lucifer, nothing is by accident. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, and that is so true. And like, that's a heavy one too, when you realize that, that really nothing happens by accident. There is no coincidence. And that's a big one with magic, isn't it? That you have to like really stop and remind yourself that like, that is how these manifestations are going to appear. They're always going to appear like a coincidence. Most of the time, it's going to look like a coincidence. But there will be fools that will still argue with you and tell you that it is not real, that you're just LARPing, and it's all a coincidence. But, hey, magic isn't for everyone, and I get that. And hey, that's okay. Yeah, Utah does sound great. I love it out there. I've been going out there, for the last 4 years, quite a bit, a couple times a year, and I just feel so much better when I'm there. I really do. It's like a night and day difference. Like everything is different. And I really feel like with that feeling comes the ability for me to really be the man that I am, like the best version of myself. I don't know if you guys are a lot like me, but the way that I feel dictates everything in my life. And I know that sucks, because like as a man, I should be able to be like, fuck how I feel. Fuck how I feel. I'm not a pussy. I'm going to do this shit and whatever. But unfortunately, I have pretty strong feelings about certain things. And if it's like that, I just can't fucking do it. And so I have to make sure that those feelings and the way that I'm feeling is what I need. Yeah, don't stop feeling. Hell yeah. Feelings are your soul, spirit is you. Hell yeah. Tiny Giant Evie said, what if it took a coincidence for you to believe in yourself in a whole new way? Well, then I would just say that coincidence wasn't a coincidence. That was destiny. That was what was always to be and what it has always been. And I guess it's really kind of like that, isn't it? Like with time not being linear, we are already that person. We're already that person. We just don't realize it yet. That person is alive right now doing crazy things, and that other person is still running around doing all that bullshit that we've already done. And the things that are happening right now is all happening simultaneously right now. Like we are that person. You know, we already are that person that we want so badly to step into and embody. And that's going to happen for a lot of us in 2025, and a lot of that is going to come into manifest through moments of tension and pain. You know, it feels like I'm seeing, you know, Lucifer showing me that like it's like a diamond year. Basically, it's like really like the tension and all the stress and all the tension that's been pressed upon this coal is forging a diamond. And for many of us, like we're going to receive that diamond mind this year in 2025, and things are really going to like level up for those of us that are able to withstand the pressure and the tension that we're experiencing through this creation process. Oh, Sedona, Arizona. Yeah, dude, Sedona is really awesome. I've been drawn to Mount Shasta. I've been wanting to go to Mount Shasta for the longest fucking time, but Sedona's on that list too. Yeah, for sure. Sedona, like that's got to be like some really strange vibration and with some strange portals and ley lines, because like so many people really just feel like insanely drawn to that place, and usually once they're there they don't leave. It doesn't seem like, if they can afford to stay, that is. You've been doing a lot of vigilante cursing and blessings lately? Hell yeah. Miss said, I feel like I can't interact with this future hyper self. It didn't used to be like this. It's the wildest thing. Wow, weird. I've had moments like that. You know, I don't know if it's exactly what you're describing, but I've definitely had moments where just my future and my future self was nothing but a black void, literally, that I couldn't see anything. And it just felt hopeless and useless. And that, you know, be like, I just was not able, and like that was, ooh, man, that was a question I would literally get pissed off if people asked me too. Like if they asked me what I wanted to do in the future or where I saw myself in 5 years, I was like, motherfucker, are you serious? Are you like, I'm not doing that. I'm not going there. I don't even want to think about it because life is so fucking hard. And like literally when I look at it, all I see is black. You know, and that was definitely me for a very long time, you know, and for the longest time too, I really literally felt like every day was never going to end, and that like every night was going to last forever. And it didn't matter how much money I spent or how much drugs I did, because it was all going to end anyway. But the next day kept coming. All right, my friends, I am going to roll out of here. I'm getting really hungry. I haven't eaten anything yet today, so I want to get some food, and then I'm going to watch that whole hour-long portal opening of the Pope, see what's going on there. Why Unknown said, in order to gain something major, you need to lose something. Oof, isn't that the fucking truth? And why does it have to be that way? Damn this fucking world. Damn it. Ugh. Oh, you got you some Subway, Nina? Nice. I don't know what I'm going to get yet. I don't really know. Something. But anyways, thanks guys for being here. I love you all so much. Thanks for all the super chats. Thanks for all of the awesome chat and fellowship here. I always appreciate it. I love you all very much, and thank you again for all your support. And I look forward to seeing you all soon. Thanks, guys. Love you. See you. Bye.